copy. I'll be quick. Nice, Captain! Got him all. No problem.
I'd wager this is the outpost. Rebecca! Anders! Come on out! Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry-rig these old locks so as they don't open anymore. But we've only ever done that if we're in a real bind. Here, I'll fix it. Hey. Oh no. Oh no. What did you do?
Uh-oh. It looks bad.
I don't... They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you! The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses! Ugh. Or to leave your medallions to rot with you, but... Clara would want to be buried with her sister. At least I know. Ought to have learned by now that getting one's hopes up tends to open them to being dashed across the stars. I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. I'm glad. If she were still alive now, it'd break her to know the truth. Yeah, maybe. I'm used to disappointment. She was still so naive as to let it hurt her every time it happened. Only thing left is to take these medallions home, which means figuring out how to bait the Mantiqueen out of our old base. The most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick. That'd be boring. Half the fun in exploring is the fact that you're on an unknown trail. I've never had the pleasure of hunting primals, but I hear they're all over Scylla. Let's tear a few apart, shall we? I'm sure they've got pheromones. Everything does.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship. Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
Have you seen this man? Reward offered for information on the capture of noted terrorist Phineas Wells. Report any sightings to your local war embassy.
Nice work!
Got him, boss! Oh, that's the last of him.
You looking to shoot targets, varmints, or marauders?
This is Halcyon News. You mind trying to have a moment here? Yeah, I was called that once upon a day. You need some... Rufus and I are no longer on speaking terms. I don't know where he is, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. That's Harlow's mark, no mistake. Guess he's not letting this one go. I don't want any manner of harm befalling Rufus. Not on my account. Yeah, well, you got reason to mistrust Harlow. He's a surly git, but he's devious. Rufus is hiding out in Emerald Vale. Got a few friends with him. That's as much as I know. That's right. Our marriage contract expired some months ago. And seeing how he's technically an outlaw, I wouldn't renew even if I wanted to. Precious little. He and Rufus worked together on the Groundbreaker some years back before he vanished. A few years later, Rufus gets a message from an old friend. Something about starting a revolution, something about getting rich. Abandoned his work and ran off that very day.
So Clyde sent Trask the same message he sent me. What's the problem?
Word of advice, kid? Anybody carrying on about a revolution just wants to sell you something. I don't know Harlow, never so much as bandied a word with the fellow. You're better off having this discussion with Rufus. Only that Rufus is in a bad way. He came to see me a little ways back. Said he had to go into hiding. Never asked why. He was here to collect his personals, complain about Harlow to me, and say goodbye. No, and he was particular about that. Said I was better off not getting entangled in his mess. Little late for that, says I. It's been a day. Could use a little privacy if you don't mind.
Some crew.
You're adjusting before you pull. You're anticipating it. You...
Of course I'm anticipating it. What if I shoot a friend on accident?
That's on account of your stance. You want to lean into it. Embrace it. Work with it. You're in control here, Parvati, not the gun. Don't let a hunk of metal jerk you around. You've been around powerful machinery all your life. You're always in control, right?
I guess that's kind of like when the killer's shooting 600 cans near molten cell tuna down the conveyor while I'm...
Here, stand like me. Just so. Hips square. Lean forward a little. It's just equipment, and you're just an engineer using it.
All right. She's on her way. How do I look? Oh, my hands have finally stopped shaking. All right, all right. Deep breath. Here I go.
What a mess! What a mess!
Anyhow, so I told him, Dad, I'm a big girl now. I ain't need your help. I can do it on my lonesome.
What did he say to that?
Have at it then. And he handed me his favorite wrench, the one he used for the canner. He's probably half as tall as I was.
He didn't scold you for talking back to him?
Nah, he was never like that. I always thought it was funny when I'd get indignant about something. Then he'd watch me do whatever it was, make sure I didn't get hurt, but he'd never interfere. I learned a lot that way.
I wish I could have met him. Anyone who helped shape you must have been a special person.
Hi, Cap.
Some of the cable routing in here is unique.
Um,
My father and I were often at loggerheads. He had notions of how the station should be run, and I had others. He was fond of saying, "You think Groundbreaker pays for itself? Someone's got to cover the bills," when I chafed against his deference to the board.
sounds like he was afraid of him.
He was, and he was right to be. Didn't mean I had to like it.
Captain, no spine.
I appreciate you making the time for this.
What about your mama? I don't mean to pry, you just hardly mention her, and I've been wondering.
She passed when I was small. Taught me how to change a fuse on her deathbed. Even sick, she was patient with me. She kept exhaustive journals of my childhood, my father said. Like she was A/B testing child rearing.
Must be you got that exacting nature from her.
Exacting is a kind way to put it. Inflexible, my father would have said. Bullheaded. Cold.
Hey, Cap.
If you're cold, then I'm the void of space. Cold. That's the silliest thing I ever heard.
Thank you.
We'll get the kitchen back to you soonish, promise.
I'm trusting you to keep Parvati safe. She means the stars to me.
Issuing sanitation ticket. Thank you. All cleaning tasks.
Okay, Captain, she's gone. I feel like running laps around the cargo bay. So she got here, and, well, she sneezed. She said, "Wow, new soap?" And I was like, "Yeah, rosish." Turns out it tickled her nose. Oops. And then she just sort of touched my arm real gentle-like and called the cut of my outfit elegant. I couldn't hear the rest on account of my heart was beating so hard. Then I led her into the kitchen. I think she about cried when she saw the spread. We both see enough engines in our day-to-day. There's nothing special about sitting next to another one, even if ours is real sweet. June hardly ever makes it down to Groundbreaker's mess during regular meal times, so sharing the kitchen was special. Like being part of a real family. She stood stock still and just said, "Oh, real soft." Oh, and let me tell you, I was sweating. And then she blinked and said, "Is that dustbat casserole?" I told her how we got Mr. Raymond to bake it for us, so it was double authentic. Made by a real live monarch person. Sure was. Near best thing to homemade, Junlei said. When I brung out the sweetheart cakes, June, she got a little teary. Said she had a thing she needed to say. But I stopped her because I wanted to say it first. I never felt so bold, Captain. I told her about how she made me feel. Bold like I acted. Strong. Smarter and kinder than I am on my lonesome. I listed all the things I liked about her. And then she pulled out a paper and read a speech. She talked about the things she admired about me, like my cleverness and my humor, and how it made her want to be more open. She was worried she wouldn't get the words out right, especially after that message about Isabel. It's sweet. Anyhow, when she wrapped up, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And Captain, she said yes! And then she sneezed again, on account of the flowery soap. It's all on your account, you know. Imagine if you'd never taken me out of Edgewater. I'd have never met Junlei at all. I don't know nothing about the Vickers capital P plan, but you've sure changed my life. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna head to my cabin and happy scream into my pillow for like an hour.
So then I told him, oh, ha ha ha, that tickles. How odd. No, don't desist. I think I might like it. Further data collection is required for accurate assessment.
Dust.
Welcome back, Captain. See you soon.
Living in a relay station all the way out here.
Yeah, you got some nimble fingers, Captain.
inside.
Make it look so easy.
So, is he dead or...
Poor bastard.
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
You ain't making a lick of sense, Max. Of course I got a self. I'm me, Felix Millstone.
No. That is just a story you've been building for yourself from a very young age.
There, see? You just said yourself. Your self. Guess I got a self after all. Checkmate, preacher.
Semantics and nothing more. The construction of our language assumes the existence of a self.
Whoa, 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 slow down. What's this about construction work?
Our language has all manner of paradoxes contained within it. Tell me, what happens to your lap when you stand up?
What are you talking about? Max, you've been acting real funny ever since you and that hermit sniffed all them drugs. Maybe you ought to ask Ellie to take a look at your head.
We still going?
Oh, hello, Captain.
Welcome back, Cap. May We've arrived at the Groundbreaker. To return in one piece, Captain.
My comm center already got an update ping from the backup relay. I trust everything went smoothly. Thanks. That's odd. The only messages in the queue are encrypted ones. Looking at the transmission logs, the relay hasn't received a single unencrypted message in the past 36 months. Must be on account of some new security red tape. Well, whatever's the cause, the board and the Earth Minister will see it sorted. Thanks again for saving my derriere. I secured quite the payment authorization for you from Chief Junlei. Try not to spend it all in one place. Routing through the backup relay has saved us a mess of trouble. Thanks to you, the auxiliary will handle the signal load when the primary's caught in the occlusion.
Hey!
We're now in orbit above Fallbrook, Captain.
think I'll go for a swim.
You'd think folks were pissing in the alleyways as bad as it stinks. Well, well, aren't you the very picture of good health and sound decision-making? However, we can't make good decisions all the time. Consider whoopsie-daisy coverage. Please note that to make a claim under this policy, you must describe your error in detail. And also note that doing so nullifies... I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right? Well, we interviewed the parents extensively. They had plenty of awkward childhood stories that illustrated their daughter's clumsiness and capriciousness. Furthermore, the claim spurred a whole line of fashion-related policies. It's become a very lucrative market. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. That's what...
Said you docked 3 days ago?
This looks like the place.
You must be back for our Act of the... Be advised that any claim submitted... I'm afraid if we let every friend, relative... Of course she is. The paperwork's...
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure. That couldn't possibly be you.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies, and you'd theoretically add the beneficiary of your choice. But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That... Please, my policy only covers paper cuts and wrist strain. Very well, I'll do it. But then you've got to go. Confrontations like this will raise my premiums. I'll need the name of the new beneficiary.
Ellie Fenhill?
If you say so. The payouts will flow exclusively into the new account at the start of the month. I hope Ms. Fenhill enjoys her newfound prosperity.
A word, Captain? You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up.
Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Maybe as line holders or warm bodies? Oh, sure. You've got to wait in line for just about anything in Byzantium, and not everyone has the time or inclination to do it themselves. As for warm bodies, some companies like to keep extra workers on site to look more productive. Oh no, there's lots of paper shuffling and pen clicking that goes on. The really good ones know how to leave sticky notes in just the right places. See, this is why I had to get out of Byzantium. Not sure what comes next for me, though. I've never been much of a planner. Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of planning for anything around here? Hate to say it, but Halcyon's already there. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here's your fee. Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. Why else would you go through all this trouble? You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. You don't have to get all mushy about it. Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch yours. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to look out for your interests. Yeah, don't make too much of this, okay? Something...
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial. We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain. Please avoid damaging yourself or others.
Their mistake. That's the last of them.
If they didn't want to tempt us, why'd they lock it up?
Don't bother me.
I don't know who you are or why you're prowling around here, but I'm willing to make a guess. You're one of Harlow's gun hands, ain't you? He sent you after me. Former wife. And if you so much as hurt a hair on Rosanna's head, I will put you in the ground. Yeah, okay. I'm having a conversation with a hired killer, but I'm supposed to relax. Thing is, you and I are at an impasse. Harlow wants me dead, and I've got no intention of dying. How do I know that I can trust you? You've got good instincts, then. You were right not to trust Harlow. I never betrayed Harlow. Harlow betrayed all of us. The board's got him in their pocket, been paying him off for years. All that palaver about revolutions? It's a lie.
You can't be serious. I've known the guy for years.
Yeah, that's about how I reacted when I found out. That's the whole truth. Harlow's just another board asset. A two-bit mercenary wearing a dissident's clothes. Yeah, I've got proof. There's always a paper trail when the board's involved. I chanced upon some correspondence between Harlow and his employer. I don't know that it makes a difference. What was I to do with that evidence? Bring it in front of the board? There's no authority in Halcyon willing to take Harlow to task. I hid my papers before Harlow chased me out. Back in the middle of the base, there's an old vent in a utility corridor. I stashed my evidence in that vent. Board-sanctioned piracy. Harlow went after the ships the board wanted destroyed, capturing anybody the board wanted captured. If we captured you, we'd ransom you. Harlow liked to do the job himself. gather up the captives on his own ship, vanish for a couple of days. Only that's not what happened. Harlow's been selling his captives off to the board. I don't know where they ended up. Re-education, Tartarus, maybe worse. Because he's for sale, anything the board can buy, the board will buy, and that includes loyalty. Harlow was a charismatic bastard, and he was ruthless. With Harlow in their pocket, the board had an informant, a pirate, a smuggler, and a gang leader all rolled up into one odious excuse for a human being. Sounds like a deal to me. Take it you've made up your mind. You gonna tell Harlow I'm dead? May as well. I'm never going back to that life again. Here, take the ring. And for what it's worth, my gratitude.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
I definitely won that round.
You always seem to, huh?
That's because I'm usually right.
Next time I work the scorecard.
Nothing to do but stand around and watch the stars go by.
Nice and easy.
What's the word? Not surprised. Trask was a dead man trying to negotiate with his own executioner. He'd say anything to preserve his life. That's a damning accusation. Am I right to presume you have some evidence on hand? Those papers don't prove a thing. We've all done business with the board. They own the whole damn colony. Trask put you up to this. That miserable wretch. He's trying to undermine everything I stand for. You've got a lot of nerve calling me a liar to my face. How should I know? What the hell do I care? Trask was a traitor. I didn't ask you to understand his motives. I asked you to cross him off.
Clyde, look me in the eye and tell me it's not true. Tell me, and I'll believe you.
Don't talk to me like I'm some common criminal, Felix. You're the one on trial, not me. I don't know what kind of poison that snake dripped in your ear, but as far as I'm concerned, you've been compromised.
That's the last of him!
Take your best shot, asshole! Make him. Down they go.
We all in one piece?
Some crew members are causing...
Dead center. Next round's on you.
Captain's coming. Put your gun away. I'm casual.
Yes. This'll about do. That's a mighty clean weapon. Yep.
This is definitely not how I imagined it'd end. The void's black, water's wet, and Clyde hated the board. That's something I just knew. Now? I don't know. I don't know what to think. No. I guess you really don't. I've just got a lot on my mind right now. This is a lot to take in. I always looked up to Clyde. The thought that he could be an agent of the board is just abhorrent to me. I just hope I never turn out like that. Selling my soul for a fistful of bits. Thanks for the vote of confidence, boss. You've given me a lot to think about. I'm gonna be mulling over this whole mess for a couple of days. Part of me wishes we'd put Trask in the ground. You know, I think that's just my frustration talking. Thanks for your time, boss.
Sanitizing within established radius.
What did I tell you? Harlow's down with the man shtick was just an act. No one who yammers that much means half of it. Take a page out of my rule book. Don't trust anyone. Then it's easy. Don't get all mushy on me now. Come on, what did we just learn? People look out for their own interests. It's a fundamental law of nature, same as gravity and conservation of motion. This is why I hate metaphors. Look, I see a lot of people, inside and out. When you get down to it, we're all made of the same stuff. Once you accept that, nothing much surprises you. Well, let me know how that works out for you. Anyway, you really expect me to believe you're working for the board out of some high-minded idealism? You're right. The point is that self-interest is like self-pleasure. No one wants to admit it, but everyone has a hand in it. Enough about Harlow, though. Anything else?
Hey, Cap.
I could probably spend years fixing this boat, stem to stern.
Searching for unoffensive.
Incoming, Captain!
You guys see that?
And we're alive.
Don't mess with the best.
Greetings, Junior Excavator.
Alright, here we go! Don't mess with us.
What was that? What was that?
Nice hit.
Oh, that's the last of him.
Boy, take you!
Easy.
Is that
Looks
your
like we're doing this.
That's the last of them. That queen ain't gonna go down easy. I can't wait. What's up? Outstanding. These ought to be enough. Let's get back to Monarch. There's an old base I used to call home. I can get us in the door, but we'll have to shoot our way through the Queen's brood to get to the center. Password to the door is Charon. Hayes' idea. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, Nyoka. Charon. He said it was some old myth. Something about death and all the things we... Rest of us just thought it sounded cool, so... There. It's an old cave system we tried to turn into an encampment. You'll see when we get there.
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge?
Oh, look at you. What a mess. We never had no one to take care of you, huh? Don't fret. I'll be your minder now. What did I tell you about stealing? Oh, hey, Captain.
Something busted, Captain?
Every single...
Welcome back, Captain. I request... We're in orbit over Cascadia, Captain.
So tell me, what do you eat when you're out at... trail rations. Right?
No, that stuff will turn your stomach purple.
What? But I love trail rations. Rizzo's makes them with extra cysty bits.
You ought to try something without so many additives. Something pure. Vodka comes to mind.
Hey, I remember Cascadia from that one episode of Terror on...
Whew, here we go. I haven't set foot in here since... Well, I'm ready. Yeah, right? Yeah. Here we go. Great work.
Find its weakness, Cap. Score one for Felix.
Well, this is the spot. You know, I thought I'd be angry. I thought I'd storm in here in a rage and exterminate all these bugs and everything would be all right in the end. But I ain't. I'm mostly just empty. A little sad, maybe. The first night Hayes and I spent in here, we knew it was home. It's safe. It's got a nice chill to it. But mostly, it doesn't stink of sulfur. Monarch folks often joke about it. Not because of the smell or the grittiness it leaves in your throat. Not because of the headaches or the coughing. It's because there's no escaping it. It's life here, and there ain't anything you can do about it. But here, somehow the sulfur never made it. The nights we spent in here felt like vacations. So we started building. We hauled in steel, hired sublight folk to help. That's how we met Anders and Opal. They stuck around after our contract was up. Opal liked camping. Anders liked chasing her tail. 4 of us for a while, scraping together what bits we could to build our home. Then came Rebecca, a sawbones out of the Cascadia survivors, who took a kindness to Hayes. And Clara, her little sister. I'll admit I wasn't keen on taking her on at first, but for a teenager, she was surprisingly capable. Believe me, I had my complaints. She had a head for numbers, helped us trade hides for food and materials, negotiated contracts. Turned out to be mighty useful. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, and me. 6 folks, 1 name, 1 family, Charon. Despite Monarch trying to kill us day in and day out, we managed to belong. Me too, Captain. But I'm starting to think... Now let's get to shooting before I... Here they come! I wish these were more auspicious circumstances, but at least we're all here. This bringing them together, burying them. This is the kind of thing Hayes would have done. That makes it stupid. By all accounts, we should have left well enough alone, but that also makes it right. Captain. You mind if we rest a spell before we head out? I'd like to bury Opal and Clara proper before I lay everyone's medallions to rest. You know, I'd been assuming this entire stay on your ship thing isn't a permanent arrangement. Part of my contract? That said, you ain't been eaten or shot to death yet. Says a lot about the stability of your future. And to be honest, I'm about sick of sleeping on bar stools. So how's about this? You keep letting me stay on that ship of yours, and I'll keep shooting at the things you point at. Outstanding.
Yeah, boss?
Down they go!
Out of my way! Ah, you like that? Heads up! Everyone all right?
Here we go! Kill confirmed! We're not getting through! I love a good fight!
Easy now.
Can't get past that armor!
Yeah! Now that was fun!
Here we go!
Working, boss! Attack! Attack! Right there!
Can't get past that armor!
Everyone all right?
Here we go! Nice one!
go! Yeah! That's what you get! You're the best there ever was!
Here we go.
This place smells worse than the back bays. Jackasses incoming!
Perfection! Here they
That's one
come.
down. Here they come! I was just getting started.
Here we go.
I believe I hear Felix and Parvati discussing the latest Aetherwave serial.
Hey, Cap.
I could probably spend years fixing this boat.
Good.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
Remember that stranger I saw in the square? Shh. The one with the Spacer's Choice aficionado. Looked like she'd styled her hair with engine grease. Doesn't she know the Spacer's chic look was last season?
Enough!
What can I do for you, darling? I've been thinking of a name for this new outfit. Chimera. Crafted from the hides of 3 species of monster. While you were gone, I put in an order for one of my bespoke lapels. Solid gold, diamond encrusted. If it doesn't have one of my lapels, it's not a Jolicoeur original. Those slackwits at HPS are holding my parcel while they wait for a signature. Bureaucracy is so utterly insufferable. Be a dear and retrieve it for me. Understatement of the year, darling. Believe me, I'm every bit as Can you believe the cheek on these people? If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were trying to grift an autograph out of me. Wonderful! I'm giving you authorization to retrieve this parcel on my behalf. You truly are my savior, darling.
I've always loved that sculpture.
I tell you what. We'll change.
How may I be of assistance? If you would like to sign for a parcel, please go to window B.
Welcome to Halcyon Parcel Service, where all parcels are guaranteed to be delivered within acceptable margins of certainty. How may I... Let me just look that up for you. It appears that a parcel for Ms. Jolicoeur, Celeste is currently out for delivery. Let me see here. A parcel for Jolicoeur, Celeste is being delivered to 316 Rockwell in the Byzantium Estates. Thank you for allowing HPS to be...
Oh, for the good old days when you could sit...
Miss Ellie, Dr. Santos, I noticed your pistol's been making a funny noise.
What are you talking about? I oil it every night.
Well, look here. Your slide's not recoiling fully. You might be due for a new spring. I could take a look, maybe fix it for you.
Sure. I'm short on bits at the moment.